All right, week 8, we got the Eagles against the Bengals. So this is an interesting game. The model is mixed. The line has Cincinnati winning by 2.5. The model has it really close. It's pretty much even there. And I get a little bit of an improvement for Cincinnati, but it's not a very strong correlation using Bayesian analysis. I'm going to take I'm going to take the Eagles. So the reason why I'm going to take the Eagles is that the with a point spread of 2.5, that's quite a bit. I don't think Cincinnati's that strong. So when you look at the raw numbers, it's pretty much dead even in the raw numbers. Okay, the confidence interval is basically says yeah these two teams are pretty evenly matched. And when I look at Philly, they they've beaten some good teams. They've beat the Packers. The Saints, while they're not a good team, I don't think they're a bad team either. And granted, Philly did not look good against the Browns, but they redeemed themselves against the Giants. Meanwhile, when I look at Cincinnati, really, I think the only thing they have going for them is Joe Burrow. They beat, and the only team that they've beat were bad teams. I mean, when you're beating the Panthers, you're beating the Giants, and you're beating the Browns. And quite frankly, I they didn't like really crush the Browns either. So I don't know what's going on with Cincinnati, uh, but they're. I mean, but anytime you've got a passer like Joe Burrow, anything can happen. So that's what you can see right over here. Now, when you see all these passing yards, or at least relatively speaking, the one thing I would point out is when a team like the Bengals find themselves behind a lot, they're going to put the ball in the hands of one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and say throw the ball, and that's what they've been doing. But meanwhile, look at the overall balance that you can have over here with Philadelphia. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the franchise quarterback that they're hoping he's going to be. I think that they got to work on him controlling the football. You've got some fumbles, nothing crazy. I'm sorry, interceptions. But he's definitely had some turnover issues. But if as long as Philly can go out and run that ball, they can control the ball. And reasonably speaking, let's see what Joe Burrow can do. I would just as soon say make make his receivers beat you. Joe Burrow can beat you every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I just don't think he's got anyone to pass to, is what it looks like to me. And then when you come over here, you look at some of their explosiveness. Both of these teams look about the same, not a whole lot of difference. Neither one of these teams are really protecting their quarterback, but Cincinnati's definitely having a little bit more time protecting their quarterback. Joe Burrow is doing a good job. Oftentimes, you can get the gunslinger like Joe Burrow, they're going to want to throw the ball, push it, especially when they don't have a whole lot of other weapons. He's doing a good job being disciplined in that regard. But that notwithstanding, um, uh, just because he hasn't been throwing a lot of interceptions doesn't mean that he can't uncork a three interception game either. So with that, I think that this game is interesting because uh, I want to see Joe Burrow really is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. That team has been inconsistent, and then you've got a Philadelphia team, which is both of these teams. They're not out of contention. They're not. They could end up being well outside of the margin of making the playoffs, but they're going to be in that mix. They're going to be in that looking for the wild card right there around that hunt. And then as the season wears on, we'll see how they crumble, or oftentimes with Joe Burrow, they start to figure things out, and suddenly you're like, oh, where'd that guy come from? And they're having to win their 17th game to make the wild card, but you're suddenly like, but this guy's unbeatable. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. And that's the reason why I'm doing this game. So I'm trying to get to subscribers. If you like and subscribe, drop me a note. Look forward to hearing from you and enjoy the week.